Hey everyone, Infinite Outlaw here. I've been thinking about this entire motivation for me leaving the platform from the beginning. I came up with a several-step plan when I was in the mental hospital a few months ago to leave the internet, to leave YouTube, where essentially the idea that I had was what I need to do to become a better person is to rely on the internet less for stimulation, validation, whatever words you want to use, positive energy that goes into me, pleasure, that's, pleasurable in the moment. It gives you something, but it ends up biting you in the end and ends up being toxic, which in my case, my relationship with the internet was that. I got a lot of validation and external pleasure, but internally, I wasn't doing so well because I was so obsessed with that metagame of views and subscribers and all these other things that I was kind of letting it get to me. And then on the other hand, on the social side of things, I was just obsessed with performing this character in all aspects of my life to the point where it became dishonest. And I felt like I was kind of getting away from who I was, that I was having this constant push and pull of the character says this, I say this. And it wasn't really a fun time for me. A lot of those days that I was spending in the hospital, not just because it was a hospital, but because I had to consider in my time alone there why I was there in the first place. Why am I getting sent to a mental hospital when I should be perfectly fine, right? Most people should be perfectly fine. Why do I have my issues? Let's reflect on that. And so, the entire time I was there, I had this notebook that I wish I still had with me. I threw it away when I moved away from Maine, but I had that notebook and I was writing down all of the different thoughts that were going through my head. I was like, day one, this happened, day two, this happened. I was kind of analyzing it as I went on. And eventually, I got to a point where I was like, okay, I need to get better. And I wrote down this, huge plan of, this is how I leave YouTube, and this is the reason why I need to leave YouTube. And at the time, it made me, physically uncomfortable. I felt like shit thinking about enacting that plan. Thinking about that plan as something that I needed to do. And I don't use those words lightly in this context. I mean, I actually, felt it. I felt terrible with the ideas that were going around in my head. And it took me several months to actually do them. I remember I said in my video where I left the platform, I was like, oh, if I did this only a few months ago, I would have offed myself or something like that, Which is true. If I was forcibly removed, God forbid I do it on my own, by my own volition, if I was forcibly removed, that would have been it. Because I relied on YouTube so much. But nowadays, now that I've kind of put some balance within my own life, and I haven't relied on this platform so much, I've allowed myself to kind of see more of the good things in life, see more of the things that I was missing out on, enjoying it, taking the detours, enjoying the detours, taking the extra mile just so you can see the sunset at the end from a different view, all of that lofty spiritual shit. So I've felt a lot better since I've used this platform less, thought about this platform less. And it may seem like I'm putting out a lot of videos because this is coming out 4 days after the last 3 uploads. And for me, that's not a lot. Because, I used to spend every single day thinking about YouTube. I used to spend every single day. What video can I make today? What video am I going to make tomorrow? How can I do this? How can I do that? Am I stagnating? Oh God, I'm stagnating. All of these thoughts. None of it was healthy. Because I was treating it like a job, and it's not a job. That obsession, that level of obsession, I believe it took away the genuinity of the channel, which is why people watch it in the first place, right? Is because it's genuine. I got to a point where the videos on my second channel started being better than the videos on the main channel because they were just more genuine. Because the genuinity in my videos was complaining about the act of making videos, which is what I was doing on my second channel. But on the main channel, I was just making videos, you know? So it had this kind of weird dichotomy, right? Where I was trying to bank on this idea that I was genuine and, oh, my videos are so genuine, so I'm going to put out a bunch of them. But then I had turned that genuinity into like a product, into like a concept, to where, you know, this is what outlaw is, and so I'm going to make outlaw. I'm going to make outlaw videos. Then on the second channel, I was complaining about the fact that I was making outlaw videos. So what people came for in the first place, the genuinity, was actually showing up more there. And so I knew there was a problem here. I've had moments like this in my channel before where I recognized there was a problem and then I cut that shit out. Because it's not good for me, I don't like it. I sure as hell don't like doing that. So like, what do you do in that situation, you know? What do you do in that situation where you feel compelled, where you feel forced to make videos that you don't want to make? Or that you feel aren't that spectacular? What are you gonna do, just sit there and do 100 takes? I've never liked doing 100 takes. That's not what I'm about. That's not why I do this. I do this because it's enjoyable. I do it because it's cathartic. I do it because I can share who I am. And maybe inspire somebody else to do better in their life. Maybe show somebody that they're not alone. Contextualize feelings that they never understood in words before. It's like a translator, you know? My channel, the point of my channel is to be a translator. I've said for years now that the point was to be understood. It's not what the point is anymore. It's not what the point has been for a long time. The point has been to give you, the audience, someone who can translate your feelings. It's to put my feelings on display in the most eloquent way that I possibly can, with the least amount of effort possible, because I don't put effort into these things. So I try as hard as I can to give as much as I can with the resources I have. And to make it to where you really understand the ideas and the emotions that I put out in words. And by doing that and by listening to that, you can relate it to your own experience and then say, well, I kind of see some of that, I kind of feel some of that. And then you now have words for those experiences that you didn't have words for before. Or you can see what I'm doing and then you can understand me better. Then maybe if there's someone else who's like me, you can understand them better. I haven't gotten too many of these comments, but I've gotten some comments saying like, wow, you know, this guy, I relate to him so much that I never thought somebody like that could exist. I've had that experience with YouTubers before. You know, I've had people where I watched their videos and I was like, whoa, you know, what the hell is going on here? What is this? You know, it's different. It's a different feeling, right? Also the camera, I hate how it does this focus in and out thing. Someone in the comments gave me advice on that, and on Samsung phones, the option doesn't seem to be there for what they were talking about. So whenever I move around a lot, which I do a lot because I talk with my hands, it just unfocuses and the picture looks all bad. But I don't know what to do to mitigate that because there's no option on the phone. But regardless, I've just been thinking a lot about this. Reason I was leaving. Reason I chose to leave. Because I'm still here, I still have access to the account. Sure, it makes me look like a joke if I choose to stay, because I said I'm gonna leave, and then I left, and then I came back. You know, that doesn't make me look too good in terms of consistency. And that's what I'm really afraid of, right? One of the things I'm terrified of in this world is being told that I'm inconsistent. that my ideals and what I want to be is not always lining up properly. And that shows through my actions. So if I take one action that I spent a lot of time in preparation in, I enacted it, and then I went back on it and changed it, how does that reflect on me? That makes me look bad. That makes me look like I'm not taking the steps that I'm supposed to take. That I'm, being shifty, or that, I'm being dishonest, baiting people, anything like that. It makes me look inconsistent. I'm really scared of that. Like, I don't like hearing people tell me that I'm inconsistent, even though I know it's true, even though I know on a lot of things I am inconsistent. Like, when I hear it, like, at times, at the right times at least, it can make me physically ill. And I mean that. I'm not putting that lightly. I will hurt physically when I'm told that I'm inconsistent a lot of the time. And I don't entirely know how to fix that, but it is certainly real. So, it's one of those things where, should I stay or should I go? And a lot of my commenters, they don't seem to care. They want me to stay. A lot of people on this platform seem to say, stay, outlaw, but also do whatever's the best for you. People have added the caveat to that statement. You could just stay on here and self-regulate, which is what I've been doing, right? I haven't been constantly thinking about YouTube. I haven't been making videos all the fucking time. I've been honest about what's going on here, and I've been taking that and I've been turning it into more ideal actions, which is not constantly being on the fucking computer, So, on some level, you can look at these statements and it's like, well, if he doesn't delete his channel, then, he's gonna fucking just go back to the way he used to be. And it's like, well, yeah, I mean, that's an outcome that could happen. And why do you have any reason to believe anything different? Why should you have faith in me when all I've done is deliver inconsistency? That's the worry that I have. That worry is so ingrained to me, into the point where I'm willing to do something that I don't even want to do just so I can look more consistent. And that's where it becomes psychotic, right? That's where it becomes really unhealthy, is when you just start doing things that you don't want to do just so you can look more consistent, And I've recognized this. I've recognized why that's happening, and I've recognized that it is happening. And so what I've done instead is I've taken that desire, that fear, and I've applied it to something more productive and positive. I'm not going to say what it is, but I have been doing something every day that I've been practicing. And so, in a few months, maybe I'll talk about it, because that's when I would have proof, that's when I would have results. And I'm not gonna, make myself look like a fucking asshole just so I can get comments and DMs of people telling me, ooh, you're being inconsistent, you're not gonna be able to do this, you're not gonna be able to do that, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this. And, after hearing it so many times, eventually it just hurts. It just hurts to hear that so many times. For like, I know I can achieve something. I know I might not achieve it immediately, and that there's going to be a hell of a lot of turmoil in terms of being motivated and being consistent, but I know I can achieve it. I know it's real. I know it's possible. I know that no matter who tells me if it's possible or not, I know it's possible. I know in my heart that it's real and that it can happen. I don't think anyone's going to take that away from me. Fucking monitor. And so, I end up working 6-hour days on a passion project that is being erroneously slow in terms of results, but results are coming. It's just very, very slow. And in a few months' time, you will know exactly what I've been working on this past week and a half. And I mean, even a week and a half, that's like more than I've ever spent on something like this, too. I usually give up by that point, and yet I've woken up, like, driven every day to work on this thing. It's like it's all I think about. It's like I've replaced always thinking about YouTube with working on this other thing. Which, again, I'm not going to talk about, but if you know me personally, you probably know what I'm talking about. So, you know, it's one of those things where I'm proving these detractors wrong. I'm proving, you know, these people wrong in my actions, but I haven't done it enough. I need to spend more and more months doing it until eventually it can't be disproven. But then there's the whole thing of YouTube, right? This fledgling inconsistency right in front of you. What do I do about that? No. Do I stay with my convictions and I leave the channel after the copyright is done? After I finish the whole Viacom bullshit? Or do I stay here due to popular demand? Due to my own demand, to an extent. Now, I've been listening to this group that I've really enjoyed for the last almost 3 years now. That's weird to think of. Okay, so randomly the camera cut out. I hope you got what I said, or that it saves. Fuck this camera. Seriously. It never works. Something random will pop up and then it'll mess up the whole video. Anyway, I've been listening to newer episodes of this show that I've enjoyed for almost 3 years now. This is 2019. Called The Procrastinator's Podcast. It's probably one of my favorite shows on the internet. This show, it's been here with me for a very long time. Got me through some rough shit. You know, I love almost all the members of the show unanimously, and I've been watching back through their old content from 2016, where I really got into them, and it was just kind of surreal for me, watching these videos and remembering the person who was inspired by them. Now, in 2016, I was 14 years old. Remembering that guy who was just sitting there watching all these videos, and it was like, wow, I gotta do this. This is so cool. These people are saying all these things that I've wanted to say, but I never knew how to. They're doing so much stuff that I relate to. They're just so fun when they do it. They make it look fun. You know, I gotta do this. And so I decided to. I decided to put more effort into the channel and to revitalize topics that I never wanted to go back to, or, you know, try new series, try new things, try all kinds of things. But it morphed into this, like, chiasma of strange, edgy content where it kind of got away from that, didn't it? It got away from the point that I was trying to express in the beginning. It got away from that original inspiration that I had started all of this over. And that's where the obsession kind of kills it, doesn't it? Isn't it? No, when you're so obsessed with this one thing, views, subscribers, consistency, whatever, you kind of kill that passion that you started it all from the beginning. Now, I've always said I never care about breaks. I never burn out. I don't think that's true. You know, at a certain point, even if I have more and more things to say, it's like I'm stretching to get those things to say. It's like I'm desperately trying. And it's not fun when I have to do that. It's fun when I do stuff like this, where I just talk. Where I just keep saying my mind on, like, a huge Markov chain of different thoughts going on and on and on and on. and I'm passionate about it, and I care. Not when I'm like trying to construct a new concept in my head that's kind of true and also kind of not, that I don't really care about, just so I can talk for 10 minutes. That's not passion. that's a fucking conveyor belt making shit go out and out onto the platform. You know. Maybe for some people that's good, but it's not fun for me to make. Now, I'm glad people enjoy a lot of the stuff that I've done, but no, that obsession with getting out so many videos, it terrorizes you, you know? You know, watching these old videos, it made me remember why I started in the first place, why I'm doing all this, why I'm doing this right here. And, I don't know, man. I don't know. Makes me wonder why I'm leaving when I watch people like that and I start to feel inspired again.